I accidentally forgot to do this for this conversation, but I should have. It's been going really well. So, but yeah, I normally do. drgregshow.com has my YouTube channel, and then all my streams are there. I'm not a chiropractor. How dare you? I'm a microbiology PhD.
I mean, not that there's anything wrong with chiropractors, is there? Or,
they're pseudoscience. It's basically like pseudo grifters.
you think so?
Yeah. Oh yeah,
Is
for
that
sure.
right?
Yeah.
Do you not have to have a proper medical, MD license to be practice as one though?
As a physician, I mean, they're not. Medical
They're not
doctors.
Is that right? They're not?
No.
Wait, but I thought you call them, like when you go to the chiropractor, do you not call them doctor such and such?
I mean, they're probably doctor of chiropractors, but they're not medical. They're not physicians. They're medical doctors.
Okay.
Chiropractic degrees.
This guy.
Yeah, to become a chiropractor, you need a doctor of chiropractor, but you're not going through like medical boards like everyone else. It's like, dude, it's like the NDs, you know what I mean? They're naturopathic doctors, but they have separate boards in order to like do that stuff. They're not like passing the same MD and DO like boards that they're actually doing.
In the same way that you feel about chiropractors, do you hold the same opinion for DOs, doctors of osteopathy?
Yeah, so MDs and DOs are actually they're passing the same boards. That's why the people like they're the same accreditation and people are like respect them the same.
Okay, but DOs tend to, they take on more of a maybe not, I wouldn't consider alternative, but it's more like a holistic integrative approach. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's different. It's like hands-on kind of.
Ruben, they're not legit. Naturopaths are not legit. The difference is that they pass the same boards. So it's just like, I mean, they're a different path to do the same thing. You know, you're right in that the education appears to be different. I honestly am not a physician. I don't know enough in order to be like an expert on it, in order to answer questions about it. But like, that's how I understand it.
Gotcha. Okay, you know what? Okay, I really do have to get going for now. But before I forget, because I think I was going to mention earlier, and especially it seems like you're comfortable with speaking in front of a camera, and you have your own channel and stuff. For me personally, perhaps I'm sure some of your audience or whoever else, I would be interested in if you reached out, or I could even potentially do it myself, but maybe it'd be better if you do it. Reached out to one person who has a YouTube channel that talks about this whole issue from like a different, or like you can say the opposing perspective.
Sure.
And time to time he does hold like either interviews or discussions with people of the more of the consensus position. And I think you would be a great person for him to talk to, honestly.
Okay. What's his name? What's the name?
Yeah, so his name, let me find his channel. So his channel is called Beyond Terrain, if you want to find it on YouTube. Let me see if I can find it real quick as well. Beyond Terrain.
It's always terrain theory. Why is it always terrain theory?
I know.
So insanity.
So his name is Liam. I don't know if I know his last name, but I know his name is Liam. I know that much. You're already like.
I mean, he's talking about terrain theory. So do you know what that is?
I do. Yes.
Yeah. Yeah. So it's literally the 1700s, bro. I mean, like what other part of your life do you allow the 1700s to dictate?
Wait, but germ theory came up around the same time, no? With Louis Pasteur, and I mean, they were both competing hypotheses. But
the difference is that germ theory was successfully proved over 100 years, and terrain theory wasn't.
Well, people like him would contend with that, though. Of course,
it doesn't matter what his opinion is. Like, we have the studies to show it, and terrain theory has never been like proven real.
Okay, but look, Dr. Greg, if I can make a request. Mm-hmm. Watch maybe one of his just like single talking head videos, and and or one of his videos where he's having an interview. In fact, he recently brought on someone who might have been like a virologist or just held to like your position. And I believe they had a very good faith discussion, whereas productive, and they were both hearing each other out. Listen, if you like his style or the way he goes about things, if you're interested, of course. If you're not, then that's totally up to you. But if for someone who's like a lot more informed about the opposing position more than I am, I think it'd be very valuable for the whole world or whoever listens to it to see these two opposing positions bring their best to see who sort of makes the most sense or who has the most like justification and stuff behind it.
I will absolutely do it because one of my goals is that no right-wing space is safe from me, that I will absolutely infest these places like the viruses they refuse to exist, refuse to acknowledge exist, and I will be their virus and their media and their algorithm, and I will absolutely do this. But I'm just letting you know, like this isn't how science actually works. So
well,
again,
I'm not saying it is.
I know, but I'm just like here, like an example would be like here, right here. So right here, these are right here. These are my jujitsu medals. Okay, I got these doing jujitsu in a San Diego competition. Okay,
nice.
Because I did that competition, I won those medals. So just because like someone taps me on the mats tomorrow doesn't mean that they win my medals, right? Because there was a process to determine what the competition was, and I was the second place winner there, so I got the silver medal, right? So in that same way, science has a competition, and we have studies and publications in order to do that. So like the reason why this terrain theory fails and why they want to get the taps on the mats tomorrow and try to claim that they are the winner of all the San Diego medals when they haven't is because they can't actually get into those competitions and actually hold face, and they can't actually win them. So these guys love to have me on because it legitimizes their channel as actually being at that spot when they're not. And don't get me wrong, this is why science hasn't gone to these places, because it legitimizes them. But I would absolutely love to go on this guy's podcast and trounce him, but I don't know if he will ever like publish it. And maybe I will. Maybe I will record it, and maybe I'll release it if he edits it or something like that. But I can guarantee you, he will not want to have me on. Do you know what I mean?
If I had to bet, I think if you successfully reached him and got in contact with him, if based on what the kind of guy I know him to be, I don't think he would deny that kind of thing, honestly.
Okay. I mean, I would love it.
Yeah, and look, and definitely before you guys, like, if this actually comes to fruition, before you guys actually sit down for the talk, definitely work out some stipulations that say, look, you have your own channel and everything, and in the case where he's not willing to publish it, that you have the rights to record on your own to publish it on your own channel.
Well, I think that'd be fair. I mean, I will. Yeah, I'll record it no matter what. But like, I mean, I'm telling you that these guys, there's a reason why these guys have a bubble. You know what I mean? These guys exist inside this bubble, and for a reason. And I can just tell by his thumbnails and stuff. He obviously hasn't. He doesn't really engage critically in this stuff. He doesn't. I don't think has this guy ever done an experiment in his life. Think about that.
I mean, he studied. In fact, if I'm not mistaken, I'm like 95% sure that he actually his major in school was in fact microbiology. Now, I'm not sure if he actually graduated with it, but I don't
even know what his name is.
That's what he studied. His name is Liam. Oh, it's Liam Dalton, yeah?
About me.
Liam Dalton.
I pursued a biochemistry degree in Dalhousie University.
Biochem.
But he expecting to find answers about life and health. Instead, I found reductionism, flawed theories, and a materialist framework that ignored a deeper focus shaping our well-being. This led me to seek real answers outside the conventional paradigm. I later earned a master's in counseling psychology, shifting my focus to root cause healing. Why the fuck would a counseling psychology degree have anything to do about microbiology? addressing the
Well,
terrain answer rather than symptoms. So again, at least he's agreeing it's psychosomatic. I mean, I agree
right,
that obviously a
right.
lot of this like terrain theory is psychosomatic, but it's probably more along the lines of like sociology and like conspiracy theory, like thinking.
Okay.
You know, that's why that it catches on
Hmm.
so much. I think what
Hmm.
happens, and I'll tell you, like, I do think that people get into these like skeptic, AI algorithms, and then they get pushed all of these conspiracies. So it's like terrain theory, vaccines denial, vaccine hesitancy, climate change denial. I mean, we have it's called the list here. Where these are like the things that we all ask, and like I asked to see if they actually agree with scientific consensus. And dude, people don't believe this stuff. Like they don't believe that viruses are real, so they'll also not believe all this other stuff, like plate tectonics, evolution, dinosaurs, climate change, vaccines, gravity, 6,000-year-old Earth, flat Earth, space is fake, it's a projection, moon landing's fake, lab leak. Like they'll believe all of this stuff, bro. I've only met like one person that legitimately only thinks that like, oh, viruses aren't real, but that's the only thing that we have gotten wrong. Like, bro,
Mm.
it doesn't happen, because once you have like a foundational belief that's been altered, and you think that all the scientists in the world are all coordinating, like that's what it would legitimately have to take, right? All the microbiologists in all the world were all working together, and we were all in tandem, and we were all getting paid off. Millions of people throughout the world and in tons of different labs were all coordinating, make sure that there's not a single anyone that flips. And once you think that we're all coming together in order to keep lab leak hush hush, now you're thinking, can't those same people keep flat Earth hush hush? Why can't those same
Right.
people keep 6,000-year-old Earth hush hush? So
Sure.
it's like a foundational belief like that is so earth shattering. And it's unfortunate, man. It's unfortunate, but a lot of these people haven't been challenged, and they don't understand actually what's happening. And they get this whole like, oh, like I'm just a skeptic.
Hmm.
Science doesn't isn't for me, because like they only push a narrative, but I'm like I'm punk rock, dude. I'm like my own
Hmm.
thing, and like I do my own thing. And it's like, bro, like scientists are skeptics. That's why we're freaking scientists. That's why we prove everything 3 different ways in order to make sure we can actually have the claims we can reproduce. That's the whole point of reproducibility in science, man. That's like, we're like the ultimate skeptics.
Which, not to open a can of worms, but the last thing you said, I mean, wasn't it? There was like literally a whole thing within the scientific field known as the reproducibility crisis. Yeah.
No, so this is a misinterpreted thing. So basically, so the reproducibility of science isn't the problem. It's the methods and papers aren't actually robust enough, and in order to actually take that in and of itself as a independent publication and then reproduce it just on that. So basically, the cookbook isn't complete. That doesn't mean
Mm.
that like the findings weren't reproducible. It just means that it was a bad cookbook. You know what I mean? Like the
Mm.
pictures and the thing that you made is legit, but it's just like that we can't reproduce it with it. So I mean that this goes into the whole thing. I've published papers, and I'm telling you that it's very hard to like put your lab notebook in the paper. Like you look how much
Mm.
space there is for the materials and methods. So a lot of times like a complex method or something, they'll ask you to do a protocols paper or methods paper that's tangent to your protocol. And I think that's legit. I think that people should do that. But obviously, think about that reproducibility crisis. Did that paper go through and try to reproduce all these papers and say, oh, this one wasn't reproducible, this one was reproducible, this one was reproducible, and they did that across all of science? Like, no, bro. What they did was they read all this stuff, and then they found that like some like fields had more or less information in order to do that. So like psychology, for example, didn't have all of the stuff in order to make sure that those exact results were reproducible. And
Sure.
biomedical science was the highest reproducible. It was like 60% reproducible based off the methods that were published. But yeah, think about it,
Sure.
dude. Like no researcher is going to go around and try to reproduce all the results to see if it was actually reproducible or not. This is like thing, man. This is like I'm not causing it's you, but
Yeah.
people are saying this stuff very confidently enough for you to think that like, hey, this is actually I trust this guy. I trust what he's saying, and in good faith, you've like someone's given you misinformation, and they aren't the perpetrator of that disinformation, right? They didn't create that disinformation, but you heard that misinformation from somebody else, and then you just didn't know someone to like bounce that idea off of, and it's like, yeah, it's not true. Like, but that's what I hope to be. That person that, like, if you find something, a science paper or something that you think is, that you're interested about, I'm your friendly neighborhood scientist, and you can come here and you can ask me, and I'm gonna give you all the time that you need. We can go through it line by line, whatever you want.
Sure. Gotcha. Yeah. No, and in fact, I I used to do some of that years ago when, COVID was more prominent in the news. But I've sort of leaned onto the expertise, or like, the people who are a little more well educated or more familiar with reading scientific literature. Um, you know, and some of them would have been the people I mentioned before, which of course you wouldn't find like credible or authoritative as far as their interpretation goes. But that's, yeah, that's a whole different thing.
God, dude, I'm sorry, 1 second. Dude, this guy that the terrain beyond terrain, guys,
Yes.
$40 a month. This guy's charging for this stuff.
Oh, grifter
$40
alert, grifter.
dollars a month. Are you out of your mind? Everything that I do is open and honest, and I still get freaking a shill and all that kind of stuff. This guy's charging $40 a month. And dude, bro, people will come on here and say that like I'm a shill and that I'm paid by these pharmaceutical companies, and then literally you go to their TikTok shop, bro, and they're selling supplements on their own website. And you're like, bro, but I'm the shill, I'm bought off, bro, but this guy's selling literal ivermectin boxes. DM me for ivermectin. I'm like, bro, like what the hell, dude? Like this is, I can't even, man. Like I don't understand. This is why the money is so good in these grifter areas, bro. I've gotten $3.85 for being here. I have a PhD. I was in school for over 10 years in order to get this stuff. I'm just sitting in my freaking my desk in San Diego. These red pill spaces and these grifter spaces are like, you go on them, dude, and they just shower you with money. It's insane. Like I went to a debate panel and we're talking about like, 50 people in chat. They gifted her over $250 and in like an hour. And I'm like, what the hell, dude? Like, what is going on? Like, what the hell? But I'm paid off, but I'm bought off. God, it's crazy.
I don't know who's calling you shill or paid off, but I certainly don't get that sense from you.
Good,
But
thank
hold
you.
on.
No, I'm not blaming Ness. Please don't take that the wrong way. My point is that there is a huge monetary incentive. Hey, Gail, it's a huge monetary incentive to go into these places and to lie and to grift and to call yourself an expert and say that like I think that like this is there's a lot of problems. Like the scientific community has been like not truthful and like whoa, free speech, bro. Like. It's so nauseating, man. It's so nauseating. Hi, Kathleen.
So to make the distinction, right? Are you saying the difference between what's considered like just someone simply making a living, like anybody has a right to use the internet or whatever platform to to monetize whatever kind of product or service that they're providing or offering, right? Like for example, what's that one platform? Patreon, right?
Yeah.
I mean, so many creators
I have a
their own
Patreon.
Patreon.
Yeah. No. The
There you go.
difference is that this guy literally was on a biochemistry degree track. It was too hard for him. He couldn't do it. He didn't understand what the hell was going on. So he completely 180'd and said, oh, science is too hard, so therefore I'm just going to be anti-science. I'm going to be the skeptic, and I'm going to sell you that. And then he went and got a psychology degree, and in order to grift, and now he's making way more money per month than like an actual scientist does on his grifting Patreon than he would have as a biochemist. Because guess what? Like being a biochemist, like bro, being a scientist isn't that profitable. Of all the things that I could have been, science is literally probably the least profitable one. I mean, dude, in my group chats as a scientist, like my friends that are all scientists, we all like, I mean, not me, I legitimately love being a scientist. I'm proud of being a scientist, but like everyone else is like, why the hell did we do this, bro? What did we think? We could have just been like finance people or data science or like computer science or something like that. And like, it would have been way more profitable for me, but now Like here I am as a science nerd, you know, and it's like you don't actually make that much money, dude. You just don't.
Hmm. Okay. Yeah, I mean, yeah, I'm certainly not going to ask you like how much you're making. That's too personal.
After my PhD, after I graduated with a PhD, I'm like, I mean, you have to think about if someone, you know, someone with a PhD or that's done that kind of stuff is literally like a world class scientist, right? And it's like
Sure.
in San Diego, I was making $100,000 a year, which is I have invented things, Ruben. I have invented things. I have patents. And it's $100,000 a year, which isn't that much more than like an undergrad with that same like working in the same spot for 7 years or whatever like that. So like, you know, it's just not versus like someone like as an engineer as like some, you know, one of these Mag 7 companies or one of the finance people that's working for one of these like these finance companies, banks, investment banks, all that kind of stuff. So it's like, bro, I mean, it's not that much, man.
Okay. Yeah, I guess it depends on your area, the cost of living, but usually when people hear six figures, they're like, okay, that's definitely like on the higher scale.
And 30 years ago, yeah, for sure. But it's like, dude, I mean,
Sure.
it's that. And I don't know where you're living, but in Southern California, $100,000 is like $50,000 when we were growing up, bro.
Hmm. Gotcha.
So you
Okay.
confirm no checks from Bill Gates? Yeah, I've gotten stuff paid for by the Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation when I was at a biotechnology company. I mean, for sure, like some of our plant stuff was founded by there, but it's
Hmm.
but yeah, it's not. I mean, we're not like rolling in the money, dude. I mean, not at all.
Gotcha. Okay. Okay. So actually, last thing, because I know I said that like maybe 15 minutes ago at this point, but I saw on this guy's channel, I did find the one guy where he talked to about this whole virus issue, where
What's his
the
name?
guy was his name is Jeremy Hammond. I don't think you'll find it's not in the title, but if you go back to like sort of the homepage where it lists all of his videos, if you scroll down to like a year ago, the name of the title is In Defense of Viruses, Isolation, Genomics, Electron Microscopy, Serology, etc. So I would encourage you to maybe at least give this a watch to see in the case that you two have a conversation, like sort of, it will give you a good idea of how it will go. And plus it will give you an idea of like his own position and arguments that he tries to use to justify, his position.
Sure. I
So
mean, like, dude, what a fucking idiot this guy is. For real. Like, genetics do not cause or contribute to disease. Like, you know that's not real, right? You know, I mean, obviously that's a fucking stupid thing to say, right?
look, because I'm a layman,
They
right?
don't,
I
bro.
only have a bachelor's degree in public health. Actually, funny enough, funny enough, which you're probably disappointed at me for that. Actually,
What name a disease that's only from genetics? That's something that can be born with.
I mean, what immediately comes to mind is like just a severe like birth defect disorder
Okay.
kind of thing.
Yeah. 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 So that doesn't make any sense. Genetics do. You can have genetic mutations that cause disease. Duh. And it's that mutation that does it because we have the sequencing that does that.
Well,
Like, come on, bro. Yeah, we literally have someone with sickle cell that's trying to request up and drown you right now. And I'm pushing her off and I'm saying, wait a second, sickle cell.
wait, the same lady that gave me coins earlier, that one.
Maybe 5-minute sickle cell lessons. She's very nice. She's awesome. She's a great member of this community.
What would she try to drown me with?
Her life story, dude. She literally was born with a disease that's from genetics that she inherited.
Ah, okay, okay.
Come on. Like this guy has no idea what he's talking about, dude. Wait, you said
Hmm.
Michael Hammond? Trying to look for Endo
No, yeah,
fence.
just scroll down to about a year ago.
Yeah.
You won't find it in the name. The name of the channel. I don't know if you want to do like a control F thing.
Okay, yeah, I found it.
Yeah,
With
I would
isolation,
say.
genomics. Okay. Oh my God. Guys. Okay. Again, dude, it doesn't make any sense, right? Like what he's talking about, right? Like you can believe that like genetics has things. Okay. So if we pass on DNA as heredity, right? So therefore, if you can pass on
Right,
your DNA with a
right,
disease that's only through the DNA itself,
right.
therefore, DNA and changes in that, mutations from that, can cause disease. That's it.
I certainly understand the logic in that. Yes, that would be the
What
entailment,
other
or
what other thing would be transferred?
these people get into like, well, they say if it's not a direct like transfer, it's like some environmental thing based on epigenetics, which I
Yeah.
guess is still a form of genetics,
You know what
kind of
this
like
is?
activates it
You realize
in a
what this
sense.
is? This is Lysenkoism. Do you understand what that is? Lysenkoism?
I'm not sure if I'm familiar with that term.
Check it out. Lysenko. 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 Lysenkoism is the failed idea that Lysenko, who was one of Stalin's scientists, tried to push and cause famine and millions of people to die, not only in Russia, but also in China too, because Mao believed him. And guess what? That caused people an entire famine. People died. Like, it's wild, dude. And you know what? Really, like Stalin was unaliving people. And that's where all those people, all those scientists in Russia. That's where do you that's, they where do you think that they went? It's because they were trying to step up and tried to say that Lysenko was wrong, and he would just unalive them. Like,
Okay, it's named after this guy,
yes,
Lysenkoism.
Lysenko. Yes, exactly,
I see.
Lysenkoism. Yeah. That is the idea that genes actually aren't the main root cause of heredity, and that's what you were talking about. Just in the, you were referencing
Mm,
that with, I don't know if you knew or not, but I'm letting you know that that
no,
is
no.
what those people think, and that's completely wrong. I mean, it's insane. They think that there is basically like a spirit that you give off to your kids. That's like
Mm,
supernatural thing that isn't just the genes itself.
hmm. Wow. I didn't know this kind of ideology went back to like the Soviet
So
Union or
so unless he was a
whatever
he's
this
a
is.
unless he's like a tanky, which is like a communist that that just defends the USSR, like that is like, and that Stalin did no wrong kind of guy. Mao did no wrong. I mean, there are people that are like that. I don't know. I mean, it's just maybe he is. Maybe
Yeah.
he's a tanky. I don't know. It's very odd. It's very weird. But
Well,
it sounds very discontiguous, like his ideology. It doesn't make any sense.
interesting. Well, Dr. Greg, not it's been a really. I look. I understand we're from different positions or whatever, and maybe part of you feels like you've kind of swayed me your way or whatever. But I mean, look, I totally, I get everything you're saying. I've heard it before. Well, not everything, but some of it is familiar. It's certainly not the last thing that was new to me, so I thank you for that. But and not to leave you on a rage bait, but just because the way my brain works, when you mention certain things, some little light pops up in my head. Not to rage bait you more, but that Jamie Andrews guy that does those, or did those rather, or might still be in the process of doing so, those virology control experiments, whatever. He in fact does have articles on his Substack, literally named the DNA hoax, where he doesn't
Yeah.
think DNA even exists.
Yeah, exactly. He has to. He has to. That's the only. That is the only way. That then it's again, dude. It's like it's a foundational thing, right? It becomes like oh no, they're lying to you about viruses. They're lying to you about DNA, dude. They're lying to you about all this stuff. I mean, come on, dude. You don't think that DNA exists? Like you really don't think?
Dude, I don't. It's just, I mean, look, me when I read those articles, for example, it's still because like for the people who like criticize his work and his like conclusions, because he's unable to actually give like a proper alternative, it like it's hard for me to like take it seriously in a way, you know.
It's hard
But
for you to take the guy that's saying DNA is a hoax seriously, or you fail
he,
to believe the scientists who don't have an opinion against him or don't engage with it.
because he's unable to give a an alternative to what may be the thing that is causing seemingly like hereditary traits. That's what makes me confused about why he makes such claims about DNA not existing.
But
Because
isn't it like, what do you
the
think?
DNA
What do
model
you
makes
think?
sense to me.
What do you think? Why is he doing it based off of what we just talked about? What do you think?
Well, I mean, of course, the answer you want to hear is that he's lying and he's grifting,
Yeah,
and so on
yeah,
and so forth.
yeah.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Isn't that the most obvious one? Like, isn't that Occam's razor, bro? Like,
Well,
come on.
I haven't paid this guy a penny. I mean, I'm just reading his
Exactly,
stuff on.
exactly. But guess who'd you'd pay if you were interested in learning about more?
Well, I'm I'm way too focused on other things in my
I
life
know,
to.
but I'm just saying, like, you know, you maybe you like, you know, talk to someone else about it, and you try to get someone else and they subscribe and stuff like that. I mean, he has 10,000 subscribers on Substack. Like, his stuff gets
Yeah.
around, obviously.
Mm. Funny enough,
I mean,
one of his articles say that Substack was like shadow banning him or something.
I bet he does with 10,000, bro. How many do I have? Let's see. Let's see. These guys, thousands and thousands of people on Substack. I got like 10. I got 12 people now on Substack. Am I sitting here complaining about being shadow banned and like, oh, the world sucks, like, so mad. You know, it's like, no, dude, just fucking deal with it.
I no, I got you, man. Well, look, I have stayed here much longer than I originally planned, which I mean, you know, no regrets. That's fine. I still do think you're a cool guy, and I
Thanks,
like
man.
the fact that we both train jiu-jitsu. In fact,
Nice.
I was thinking maybe at the very least we could talk about jiu-jitsu and get
Okay.
into like this deeper stuff later. But I
Nice.
guess I'll have to wait until next time.
What's your
Anyway, at
favorite
this point.
guard, real quick?
X guard, X guard.
Oh, sick. Nice, dude. I like single leg X a lot. I like leg stuff, so it makes sense.
Yeah, yeah.
Nice, dude. Yeah, do you pull
No,
guard or you go takedowns?
I well,
How are you getting to
I
X
pull.
guard?
I'm definitely more of a top guy. Definitely more of a top guy
Oh,
because
nice.
I have a bit of a wrestling background.
Sick.
But yeah, I practice guard on. So I'm only a blue belt, by the way.
Yeah,
Just
me too.
full
Yeah,
transparency.
me too.
Oh, nice, nice. Yeah. So maybe we can get some good rolls in.
Nice, dude.
You don't train at Atos HQ, do you?
Yeah, I do.
Oh, there you go. Nice. Oh, yeah, first guess. Nice. I just kind of put Southern California and two together.
Yeah, yeah.
But
It's awesome, dude. I love it. It's yeah, we're training. I mean, the comp teams are like training for Worlds, no gi Worlds later, and then I think I'm gonna do San Diego Trials 80cc in January, or there's like an LA gi that I might do. I
yeah.
started doing it 2 years ago in November, Skog. It's amazing, dude. It's so fun. It's like the nerds martial art, man. It's
Yeah.
so incredible, bro. Like, God, okay, we should have just done this at the beginning, bro. Like, I'm telling you right now, like these
Yes.
guys are basically like, I have the best guard in the world, and I've never been passed. And then you're like, okay, so what's your guard? What do you do? And they're like, Tai Chi force fields. And you're like, what? Like, what are you talking about? What kind of guard is that? And you're like, and they're like, no. Tai Chi force fields and jujitsu. What do we do? All right, let's roll. Let's scrap. Let's see like what you got. And they're like, no, I'm not gonna scrap with you. That's biased. That's not fair. That's not okay. And they're like, that's why the Tai Chi guard is the best in the world. But they never roll. They never do any competitions, anything like that. That's what these anti-vaxxers do. Meanwhile, scientists and science, we're in there and we are trying to figure out the best guard. That's what the experiments are, dude. We are like in that stuff. We are trying to go from X to single leg X to De La Hiva to reverse De La Hiva to crab ride to all that kind of stuff. Try to figure out how can we enter into these positions. Like, what are the things that we need to learn in order to understand this stuff? And then the other guys just over there being like, you guys suck. My Tai Chi guard is the best and you'll never, pass it. And it's like, okay. And then all of a sudden, bro, you see this guy getting private lesson after private lesson after private lesson because they're like, hey, this guy says he has an unpassable guard. Can your guard be passed? And you're like, yeah, I mean, my half guard's pretty good. Like, it's, it's pretty good. And but they're like, well, this guy says he has an unpassable guard. Why would I ever pass? Why would I ever pay for a private from you for your crappy half guard if you can't guarantee 100% defense rate? This Tai Chi guy saying that, and he's getting $100 an hour private lessons. Meanwhile, you're over there sweating your butt off trying to make sure you understand these guards the best and understanding these entries and all that kind of stuff. Meanwhile, those guys are making bank, dude. That is the analogy. Like, legitimately, man, it is insufferable. It is so frustrating watching these guys grift and lie.
Gotcha. Okay, okay. After the first half, I understand. You're just simply making an analogy.
Yes. Yes.
At first, I thought you were like actually talking about some martial art that you did before jiu-jitsu.
Exactly. How insane would that be? It's how insane would that be? In jiu-jitsu, unlike any other martial art, bro, what is our philosophy based off of the Gracie? The Gracies went around and said, let's scrap, let's see what the best martial art is. Let's test this stuff. Let's test this
and
thing
that's how
right
the
here.
UFC got started.
Exactly. And here you go, and that science is doing that, bro. Science is doing that. Those scraps, those competitions that I have, right? Those are the papers. Those are the papers. That's us like figuring it out. That's us trying to figure out the best method, trying to understand this stuff the best. Realize the Tai Chi guys in the back just like hurling bombs and being like, well, no, actually, it's like, bro, what? Like, what? You think that Tai Chi guard is definitely the best? And people are like, hey, there's a lot of people that like him, that they're saying it's pretty good. And you're like, he's never won a competition. He's never even won a match. He's never tapped anyone with that. So this guy that you're sending me the Substack, that is that guy. That is that guy. He's grifting people. He is saying that he has the Tai Chi guard. And I'm like, okay, so I will go on his podcast talking to him about like, all the guards and the entries and all that kind of stuff and guillotines and, okay, like what if you want me to? Meanwhile, he's never going to scrap with me. He's never going to roll with me. He's never going to actually try to submit me. But he's going to say that he did, and he's going to say that he won. And that's the problem. It's like, what is in it for a scientist? But in our analogy, I am the Gracie family. I am going to all these martial artists, and I will absolutely decimate them, and I will leave them crying and begging to have that interview not actually submitted, just like the Gracie family did, right? Just because, like how they went to all the karate dojos and they showed them that their striking sucks when you actually go and you can take them down and they go to the ground and they have no idea what they're doing. I will do that. I will absolutely do that to them.
Damn. No, I hear you, brother. That's definitely a good analogy to make. If you're hearing noise in the background, that's because I'm actually unboxing a new set of gis that I got, which I would like to show you. And let me know what you think.
Nice, dude.
Yeah, just maybe as one last. Let me see. Here we go. Check this out.
That was sick, dude.
Yeah. Okay. So so this is like the old imperial Ethiopian flag. Yeah.
Okay.
Like the lion and stuff. Check this out. So it has the lion here, and it's got that here on the sleeve there. You see that?
Nice, dude.
And then it has
nice.
The Jamaican
Sick,
flag
dude.
over here.
Hell yeah.
And check out the back though. Check out the back. Watch this. How cool? How sick is that?
Oh, sick. One guard. I
Right?
love that, dude. That's awesome.
Yeah. It says, what does it say? It says one love, one guard. How cool
That's
is
sick.
that, man?
That's cool, man. I love it.
And it's got the lining on the inside as well. So
Nice, dude.
yeah, man. So just wanted to show you that real quick.
Beautiful.
I haven't worn it yet just because I actually haven't trained in a little while. I've been busy with work recently, but
Okay, man.
I'm looking forward to wearing it back on the mats. But anyway, look,
yeah.
Dr. Greg, it was nice meeting you.
Yeah, bro.
I enjoyed our conversation, and
Me too, dude.
I do plan. I'm gonna read a little bit more over the stuff that I have, and see where we can go from there next
Okay.
time.
Okay. Awesome,
All
dude.
right.
I'll reach out to this guy. We'll see if we can set something up. And yeah, awesome. Thanks for bringing him up to me.
Oh, sure, of course. Thanks for having me up, man.
All right. Have a good one. Peace.
All right, you too. Peace.
All right. All right. What's up, guys? What's up? What's up? Welcome up, guys. Hi. What's up, 5 Man? Um,
Oh.
welcome in. What are
Bro,
your?
that grifter's not gonna have you on his platform.
I know, dude. There's no way. I wanna.
No, there's absolutely
God,
zero chance.
I hope that I can, dude. I genuinely would love to. I
You gotta
wanna
make some Smurf accounts. That's the only way you'll be able to get in is if you go in Smurf and
Smurf
acting like you're
accounts.
regular.
Dude, I want to see who this guy is. Like, um, Jeremy Hammond. We're opposing viewpoint. Wow. We are fortunate to present an opposing viewpoint to challenge the no virus paradigm shift. This wasn't a debate, but rather an opportunity to explore different perspectives. Listening to this episode will help you formulate your own ideas and responses on this topic, which may extend to discussions in exosomes. Oh my God. So frustrating, dude. So frustrating. Yeah, yeah. I'll try. We'll see. I will like. I'll watch this, guys, and we'll see how it happened, and we'll see what's up. What an idiot. How's it going? 5 minute.
Ah, it's going okay. Give me 1 second. There we go. Okay. I'm trying to oh, that's why I can't see any. There we go. How are you?
Good. Like blown away. Still blown away. I don't. Let's see. Oh yeah, all the stuff. Okay, yeah, we gotta. Oh my God, yeah, we're gonna have to.
All the stuff.
It's like it's very tough, man. It's very tough. I mean, obviously, I want to go on it, but this guy was obviously way too nice because it's like they're like, great work. You're very bright and likable. Keep it up. Thanks for having this guy on. Always good to hear other sides.
Uh-huh.
Wait, is that the platform that you were just on that was doing that?
This is
I mean, I'm
the
sorry.
yeah, this is that
Oh.
guy's stuff. I need to make a response video for sure. And God, dude, it's so exhausting. Like how much money these
Nathan,
guys fucking make.
didn't I just see you on another live?
You may have actually. I was up with Santana a few minutes ago.
Wow.
For the opposition.
No. I think myself and Dr. Greg are pretty aligned.
What's up, dude? How's it going?
Hey, Dr. Greg, how are you, sir?
Hi,
This
good,
is
man.
well, I'm a I'm a long-time listener, first-time caller, so it's good
Oh,
to actually
sick,
talk
dude.
to you.
Cool.
Yeah, man.
Nice.
What are your thoughts? You're talking about neurodivergence in the chat?
Yeah, I wasn't sure if we were switching topics or staying where we were, so I figured I'd throw that out as a potential conversation starter. But yeah, I've been looking into that for myself for a number of years now and learning a lot. And
Nice.
I would be curious to see. Yeah, I'd be curious to see your take on it, especially from your specific studies and your field of expertise.
Yeah, I'm not a physician, but I mean, we can talk about it. But yeah, I'm curious what you say.
Oh yeah, absolutely. I do not have a diagnosis yet, but I'm in the pursuit of one. And from what my therapist and I can suss out, I am most possibly in the ADHD, potentially ADHD with a little bit of either comorbidities of OCD, etc., but potentially autistic traits as well. So looking into that, and I'm curious about it from a gene standpoint. That's one thing that I haven't been able to find much research on is genetic components and how it passes down. So I was curious if you had any thoughts on that, and if you had, if you were potentially neurodivergent, if you were potentially neurodivergent yourself, or just kind of where you approach the subject?
Yeah, I mean, I got like diagnosed with ADD when I was like 16 or something, but I mean, I definitely, I mean, I think everyone's on some type of spectrum, to be honest with you. I mean, I don't think that anyone like what is normal kind of thing, you know, and I think that that's
Yeah.
okay and expected and awesome. So yeah, I mean, that's kind of like my take on it. I think that it's okay to be, um, everyone is a little different, you know, and it's hard to, who knows what tests we have in order to encapsulate that. But I think it's good. I think it's we should embrace it, and people have different ways of addressing and coming to, problems or ideas, and all people are, can make contributions to society, and we have like there's a bunch of benefits to having and supporting alternative or embracing the divergence of the spectrum. That's what I would say.
Yeah,
If
I couldn't agree more.
Yeah.
Yeah, and if I could too, just a extremely selfless plug here.
Mm-hmm.
With the Propaganda Factory, we're taking in a smaller project called the Neurodivergent Report, and we're going to help publish it and whatnot. So that's something that we're actually putting resources behind to actually have a component of our Propaganda Factory solely dedicated to neurodivergent reporting. That's going to be our contributor, Sarah Russell, who's coming onto our Substack and helping to manage the book club and our
Nice.
Discord and continue to pursue her neurodivergent project. She has a podcast and stuff like that. Um, so yeah, that's something that actually she just came, to be a full member of our team just this week. So that's something
Is that going
exciting
to
to
be?
report.
That is so cool. Is that going to be from the standpoint of, I guess, politics or world
Yes,
events
it's
through the lens? Yeah.
Yes, that's exactly correct. It's seeing the world and events through the neurodivergent, neurotypical lens, and uplifting people in the community, professionals, things like that. She already has a very great podcast called the Neurodivergent Report that exists. It's just the team kind of fell out under that. So I'm trying to do whatever I can to make sure that she has the resources available to her to continue on with that project.
I will
Nice.
certainly be a fan and a follower of that. It sounds incredible, the work you guys are doing.
Nice. Nice. Yeah. Yeah, man. It's I think it's good. I think I mean I talk about mental health a lot, and going through like therapy and how that's benefited my life, and that's helped me through some tough patches and learning about who I am, and yeah, I think it's important, and we should like embrace and hold up mental health as a key component to being a healthy person.
Absolutely. Do you think there is a specific thing that we need to focus on as a I'd say a community here in the U.S. What we need to be advocating for? Is it something that we should all kind of take multiple different avenues in order to bolster up different aspects of mental health, or is there one specific thing that you think we should focus on, kind of put all of our weight and effort, or as much as possible, toward?
I mean, access, I think, would be the biggest thing. Is a lot of people don't realize that you have access, or that they have access, or that if they go, they're, it's okay, and they should, you can go to therapy when things are going well, and you should go when things are going well, because that's actually the best time, because you understand kind of like the tools that can help you out when you need it in the future, and when things go poorly. So I think that's the thing, and you don't have to be going like 3 times a week, in order to get huge breakthroughs and huge steps forward in understanding yourself and in bettering your life.
Absolutely. I am a huge advocate, myself, just from a layperson standpoint of talk therapy. I have noticed an interesting phenomenon with myself, and I've seen it, in different hot takes or pretty honestly rather cold takes throughout um, throughout TikTok that I've seen are some ADHD, uh, autistic, or just general neurodivergent folks tend to say that talk therapy can be a little challenging because we are already so so self-aware, and that's something that I can very much relate to. I can be painfully self-aware, and it can stop me from feeling feelings more so because I've learned to intellectualize all of my feelings, and that's something that therapy has helped me. Yeah, in kind of a meta way, but also I believe it can hinder some of us from being able to really take advantage of, or I guess get all of the benefits that say a neurotypical person would out of talk therapy, just because we are almost so practiced at it through our years of I guess overcompensating.
Yeah, for sure. MD, do you got anything to say, or 5 minute on that?
I mean, to add on to that, as someone who also goes to therapy, I'm gonna do like once a month. Um, and that's essentially what I'm doing is talk therapy, especially because in my job is extremely isolating. I work 12-hour overnight shifts. I mean, I work 12-hour shifts, but majority of them are overnight, and I'm like completely alone during that time.
Hmm.
Um, and then even when I'm like on here or I'm like cutting the pod or like doing lives and stuff like that, like I'm actually talking like at people and I'm not able to get any sort of professional feedback because even though I'm like authentic and stuff, it's still like a character to an extent. Like I have to
Yeah.
be something. And so, I guess therapy, I use it as a way to pay for professional educated feedback to make sure that like I'm not crazy about certain things. Especially because I had a very strenuous relationship with my mother and she wasn't, around and whatnot. And so now in my married life, I oftentimes see um, things that I'm seeing as a problem for my wife that realistically like isn't a problem, but because of the way that I associate some of those feelings like with my mother and whatnot. So just
Hmm.
being able to talk about that to someone out loud and get feedback, you know, like you said, when things are going good, it makes it easy. But when I'm falling out, it makes it great that I have something to not only help me, but to look forward to know that, some sort of help is on the way.
That's incredibly well said. That's exactly how, yeah, you just described exactly how I see it. I very much use it as the little pick me up when things are good, and definitely an emotional support net, and a in some cases greater than that of a support for when things are not so good. So that's a fantastic way to approach it and get a professional's take on it, because our friends are wonderful, but of course they're always going to come into it with some level of bias, and it's wonderful to have a therapist who can kind of cut through the BS and help us sort out where we are in a real way. But I do unfortunately feel there's some aspect of it that is lost to us because, like you said, the aspect of masking for us. I mean, I am currently learning how to unmask, and even in this conversation, I'm trying to drop any pretense that I come to it and get out of my own head and just engage as a person. And that's definitely something that is new or newer to me.
Yeah, I've definitely been trying to do some of that unmasking as well. Maybe it's a little selfish of me, but since I have this platform and people are showing up to listen, I've low key just been raw dumping my emotions on them and kind of using that as free therapy. I mean, I guess it's not
True.
free. I'm low key generating some amount of revenue for it. So it low key might be exploitation. I'm not sure. I might have to look at, we might have to have an Antifa meeting. But it's the feedback. I think that's what comes down to it is the constructive criticism and the feedback in a non-biased scientific way. That's the most important thing that I get from it. I mean, especially like as someone who considers myself a scientist and who sees the world analytically and through a very methodical process and whatnot, to be able to get feedback in that way and do root cause analysis and deconstructions and all the things. That's probably the best tool for me.
Man, if you are bringing value to folks in a way that is, tangible and real, I mean, I don't I personally see a problem with, some good coming back towards you in that. And I think and Dr. Greg, I'd love to
Mm.
hear your perspective on this as well. It's, as as a creator who is also a doctor, obviously scientist, etc. Someone who is getting things back from the expertise that you put out there. There is kind of that, like you said, there is that kind of flip side where you have to worry that, well, are you doing this for humanitarian benefit, or does the enticement of the good that you get from it kind of muddy the waters a little bit?
Hmm. Um, I mean, I did this before like the monetary aspect of it. I mean, there obviously is um like a weird audience capture kind of idea where you're like empties, right? Like you kind of, if you have this erection or something, you can be swayed one way or the other to pick different content. So you do kind of have to like make content that's true to yourself and kind of like, stay grounded in that. I think that it's just something that you need to kind of do and have morals. Like, for example, like I wouldn't just like come up here and start selling supplements, athletic greens or something like that. That would be like a huge conflict of interest, and I'd probably, make my whole ideas on supplements and nutrition, and that would be kind of like off-putting, right? But people do that. The Huberman Lab does do that. He takes athletic green supplement brand deals all the time. So I don't know. It's tough, man. It's a tough. Sometimes it's like really easy, like that kind of stuff. But the other stuff is like, I haven't had that opportunity. If I was gonna sell something, to be true to myself, I was trying to think about that. I have a friend that's a physician, and she has a really successful channel, but she does like brand clothing deals. So she'll have like sweatshirts and stuff she'll like put out, and I'm like, I think that's a little bit better, like morally, I think
You're
that
not
makes
brand
sense. Was that?
That's one of the things about it. You're not brand safe, or I mean, and neither am I.
Mm-hmm.
For majority of the brands out there, because you host a political talk show, so they're
Mm-hmm.
anyone that's doing any due diligence on you, the first level you're going to fail because you're too political.
Uh,
So I think that's part of the important things, at least for people like us, and the way that we make the content is that we do it as authentically as possible. We build it and they will come,
yeah.
because then we'll get to dictate exactly how we use it, how we make the money. And realistically, we won't have to do all kinds of deals and whatnot and
Yeah,
sell
exactly.
ourselves out because, the money's going to be there. Like, I don't know how to explain it, but like, I mean, the money's gonna be there. Like, I don't make crazy money now. I only make a couple $100 a month and whatnot. But
Yeah.
it's very obvious that if I continue with this and I draw that line out, like, it's gonna go up.
Yeah, for sure.
So I'm coming at this from kind of the opposite end of the spectrum. I'm in the creative arts, so I'm a professional musician. So
Nice.
I have things. I do certain deals through different instrument companies, etc. And I don't really promote uh, their products. I just use them, and there's kind of a bit of a quid pro quo. They'll send me things, and I'll use them, and I might make a post here and there on Instagram or something about them. But I'll still get messages from folks, even friends of mine, that'll say like, okay, but what do you actually think about this thing? And I say, well, I'm not gonna. I asked to be, sponsored by them because I already love their products. I already use their products. So I'm, there's for me, there's no ethical dilemma. It's like I already would say these things. It works out so perfectly. But then, of course, from y'all's from y'all's perspective, I can see when it comes into, actual, science and medical fields and stuff, that there is obviously unethical, obviously an ethical obligation, especially if you're, under HIPAA or, any of the other governing bodies.
Yeah. But Susie, how's it going? Any thoughts or any ideas or?
Yes, I would
Sure.
not have so spontaneously attempted to get up here, but I had answers for a couple of the first questions he
Cool.
asked.
Nice.
I'm not going to probably remember them at this point. I'm going to try though. Hi, Nathan. How are you?
Hey, Susie, I'm well. How about yourself?
I'm good. I came here just for you. Okay, not even for Dr. Greg's conversations because he's so
Awesome.
boring. I'm kidding. I'm kidding. I'm kidding. I'm kidding. I'm kidding. So you asked, you shared that there's the potential diagnoses of ADHD
hmm
and a component involving OCD.
Yes.
And if I understood properly, like a sensory issue.
Oh, yes. I didn't touch
Okay.
on that, but that is very much a part of it. That is primarily
Okay.
a part of it.
Okay. And the neurodivergent component, of course. And then you asked about genetic components and if it's
Yes.
possibly passed. Okay. So yes, that first of all, that answer is yes. When your mother or when a woman's pregnant, the large part of the brain involved with passing greater parts of it to males is gray matter. This is a region of the brain that's connected to a lot. Okay, so first I'm a cognitive neuropsychologist. Okay, so I'm just throwing that out there.
Oh,
So is this like right up my alley? This is why I had answers and wanted to come talk real quick. But genetic things such as ADD, ADHD, whether it's see, I've lost my brain. It is
this is
the
incredible, Susie. Wow.
well, it's not incredible when I can't remember something.
No, but what you do and
It's
the
so
contributions
incredible.
make.
You forgot it.
No. The
It is.
contributions you make toward the field is awesome.
I haven't made contributions till right now in a while, so I'm trying to like keep up the pace.
Cool.
So they have like so before it was ADD, right? If you didn't have like a hyperactivity component, and now it's not. Now it's still it goes back to being classified as ADHD, and it can be mixed, which is like mixed with moods of like hyperactivity, like physical running across the room and all that stuff, and then there's the inattentive and type. So my type is inattentive type. My son's type is inattentive type. However, the brain is still going everywhere. So there
Right.
can be oftentimes associated with the inattentive type specifically sensory processing disorders. Okay. And so that can lead to a misdiagnosis or what is thought to also be a diagnosis of something such as autism. It's not the same thing and it's not intrinsically related. So be careful with allowing that to go on there because it's very possible that if you actually do have ADHD, a non-attentive type, it can just be part of that being an issue. So I have an issue with really loud noises that like are like bangs and pops, but I can go fire a firearm in a field and be good. If it's not me controlling the music, like that I love to hear extra loud and it's something really loud from somewhere else, like my kids like screeching, oh my God, it hurts. I don't like it. I've
Yes.
never liked it.
Yes.
But like my son, his is like also loud noises and stuff like that. But like he can be at school in his classroom with his friends, joking around. But in the cafeteria during lunch, it's overwhelming for him. It's too much.
Ah.
And he doesn't like the way paper feels. Paper has to feel a very specific way.
Mm.
So he likes the very heavyweight paper that's like 90 to 95 weight. I don't know if you even know what I'm talking about.
I do.
Over cheaper types of paper that are not as weighted. And because it feels different to him. And that's part of the sensory processing component attached to his ADHD and attentive type.
Right.
So I absolutely refuse to let him be medicated at his age because I had been diagnosed through high school, I used a different form of medicinal treatment without realizing that's what I was doing. Um, and later didn't start actually taking my prescribed medication until I was 24 and started going to school as an adult, not traditional college student. Um, and I've been dependent on that medication for years now. Okay, like very dependent. Like I can't function without taking it. Not
Right.
like somebody who has like I don't like not being able to function without taking medication.
Right.
Now noises are still really loud and overwhelming, but I can tell you, you answered a question before. I was like, I got to remember to ask this. I got to remember to ask this. You mentioned music, so phonologic areas of the brain
Mhm.
have also tight connections with sensory processing disorders that are associated with an ADHD and attentive type. It lowers levels of stimulation, overstimulation, and I bet you listen to music or have something to do with music almost at all points of the day.
Yes. Yes. And it
And there's nothing wrong
is,
with that.
yeah. hmm it is intolerable if I am not the one in control of the music. Or I would say intolerable, but it definitely has to be the right kind of vibe, which honestly lends perfectly towards what I do because I'm frequently in control of the aux at whatever venue that I'm performing in. So if we're on break or if there's a if there's a change in sets, there's I have perfectly curated playlists on at all times, and if I'm hosting a party or anything, the music has to be the right vibe to fit the setting, and I'm
And I bet
both very
people
good at
think your
that, but
music
also,
has like
oh
a
yeah.
behavioral disorder.
Yeah. They wouldn't notice it because I mask it very well, and I'm good at building playlists that do fit the vibe for everybody. But I will be constantly surprised when I'm well, not so much surprised anymore as just still mind blown at the fact that I can be in a place where there's the worst kind of music to fit the vibe. Say a coffee shop and they're blasting early 80s techno, and there are folks just working on their laptops, just chilling out and vibing. And I'm like, how are you able to function with this? They are not bothered by that. And that kind of surprises me that there are neurotypes that are completely unbothered by the mismatch of sound to their environment. It is it's wild to me.
I totally agree. Like I wish I had like a walking like theme song and like my like I wish everybody could hear the music in my head at all times, but they can't. So they don't know
Yes.
the world I live in. Um
Yes, exactly.
and the thing is like so I have a clinical OCD diagnosis. Why? Because I can control those things. And also my stepfather was extremely physically abusive and was a Marine. So like it stems from that as well. So trauma is going to be related to that and the development of behaviors like OCD because it makes it something you can control when everything else is not controllable. Um, I don't know what has led to the concern or potential like belief that that's a thing for you, but it's not uncommon. Um, and I promise you that the second they ask you, well, if everything's not where it's supposed to be and how you arrange it, the world's not going to end. And I'm like, my world is. Like, I'm not going to be okay. Like, I will not be able to function if what I try to keep organized is not the way it needs to be done.
Right.
I don't care what other people do with their stuff, but don't touch my things. So I have to have it done a certain way, whatever it is, whether it's folding clothes, organization of my personal space, of my bedroom, my office, my bathroom, whatever. But I could tell you this, I could tell everybody in the world, I could tell Dr. Greg right now, if he asked me for something specific, I could tell him exactly where to come and get it in my house because I know where it's at.
Yes.
So,
Yes.
yeah. So
Absolutely agree.
I want you to know some of the answers I had, but also let you know that everything you have a concern about is legitimate and it's real. And there's a lot of things that it can be tied to that don't necessarily mean it's one or the other. And I'm not diagnosing you. I'm not
Right.
saying that this is what you may or may not have. I'm telling you from scientific perspective what I know and what is presented in my own life, my child's life. And my daughter's totally fine. She doesn't have any of these issues. But my
Right,
son is
right.
like me. It's terrible
Mhm.
because I know
It's
how hard it's
incredibly,
been for me.
mhm.
Real quick. Sorry.
It's incredibly validating.
1 second.
Sorry, Dad.
5 minutes. I'm sorry. I thought. Hi. I'm sorry. I. What's on your mind? 5 minute. I'm sorry.
Yeah, I'll stop.
It's okay. I was saying phone dying. I can like charge it and
Mm-hmm.
come back. I have y'all ever had like off-brand Jello? I just ate a spoonful of Jello. Tastes like cherry
It's
flavored
sugar
ice.
free.
It wasn't even sugar free. Like that was the worst. Like that hurt my childhood. You know, up in hospital. Like you like to go back to Jello every now and again, and that
Oh.
just messed with my whole childhood. I'm sorry. Anyway, no, I was here last night and I was trying to make a point and all like hell broke loose and we couldn't see each other and then it was like real wild. Um, but they're talking about of course the anti-vaxxers and hospitalization and you know basically the what I'm looking for prejudice against diseases
Mm-hmm.
and patients as a whole, but really disease prejudice and medical bias. And I just wanted to come back and make my point or finish it rather.
Mm-hmm.
Um, so I don't know if people really understand, but we have hospital networks that have just openly made policies saying that they will not take care of certain diseases um, to the best of their ability. One of them being sickle cell. Um, they will no longer give us IV medications, not just pain meds, antibiotics, Epogen, Procrit. For those of you who don't know, Epogen and Procrit are two injections that help the body to create their own red blood cells. So it's a much safer alternative for us to blood transfusion. And these medical networks are like, yeah, we're just not gonna care for you. ER, urgent care, admitted. Um, and the reason that I bring this up is not just because I have sickle cell, but it's because I fall under the umbrella of non cancer, chronic pain, or you could be a non cancer chronic patient because none of this affects cancer. And the other part that goes to that, and then I'll tie it together, is that when we get new therapies, they go through a nonprofit called ICER. Have you heard of ICER?
No.
ICER is a company, it's a nonprofit
Hmm.
that basically analyzes new therapies before they hit the market and they like tell the powers that be how
Mm-hmm.
much they can charge or if the patient community that said medication was created for is even worthy of that medication. Will the
Hmm.
medication make that community a greater asset to the larger population at hand, right? So um, I'm sitting here thinking about all of this, and it hit me that these companies, our healthcare networks, are run by these insurance companies. Our insurance companies are run by political policy and just incredibly greedy people. I think we can all agree, right?
Mm-hmm.
So, what happens when they normalize openly discriminating against the hundreds of illnesses that fall under NCCP, non-cancer,
Yeah.
chronic pain or patients. What happens when they normalize that discrimination?
Mm-hmm.
You go to get insurance or you go to get care because you're an anti-vaxxer and you've come across something that you could have been vaccinated for. And they sit down and they say to you that because you did not do the vaccination, because you did not participate in the daily therapies that could have made you healthier, because you did not, and I don't know, y'all can just fill in the blank.
Yeah.
We're not going to give you the care that you need, the life saving care that you need. And ultimately, what we're really going to do is remove your autonomy of self to choose your health care, whether it's natural health care, whether you believe in only taking things that come from a lab made by a guy wearing a white coat. But basically, your your most precious asset next to time, which is your health, right, is just slowly going to be taken away from you.
Mm-hmm.
And not in a way that I think anybody will be prepared for, because I don't think people really believe it can get to that point. That the decisions that you're fighting over right now, um, when you look at those parallel to what our healthcare industry is actually doing,
Mm-hmm.
um, you could find yourselves in a much worse situation than I think people are are imagining.
Yeah.
You know, it's, oh, I didn't want to go in the hospital anyway. I don't care. Well, okay, you may not have wanted to go to the hospital anyway, but what about your grandpa that had that one cigar every 3 months and he's in the hospital and now he has pneumonia, and they go, oh, sir, you know,
Pre-existing
what
condition.
yeah. And they're like, oh, well, since you did that,
Yeah.
we don't have to give you the antibiotics necessary.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, well, you knew there was a vaccination for that, right? Oh, well, you
Exactly.
knew that participating in X, Y, and Z could have brought that on, right? And
Exactly.
it's like, well, again, autonomy of self, right? So my autonomy of self, I basically then have the authority to do what I want because I'm an adult, as long as I'm not hurting other people,
Yeah.
right? That is completely taken away from you. Yeah, you thought that your autonomy gave you the authority to choose not to get that shot or not to go get that cohiba or whatever the case may be. And now here we are, and you're not well, and all of that is now being used against you.
Exactly.
And I normally would not bring up something like that because it's like, oh god, that's so far-fetched. But since this little network decided they were going to publicly announce their discriminatory policies, and since they also decided that they were going to use a treatment that has been pulled off the shelves by Pfizer, a treatment for sickle cell. It's called Oxbryta. It basically started taking patients away. Trying to use TikTok language here, unaliving patients. So, what was a daily therapy that we thought was going to change lives
Mm-hmm.
ended up taking them. And now we literally have hospital networks using that against us. Well, did you try it? Well, you didn't try it. So how do you know it wasn't gonna work well for you?
It's
We're
tough.
still not going to medicate you properly. We're still not going to care for you properly. And here's the thing, I go into a lot of medical lives, although yours is my favorite. I won't lie.
Thank
But I
you.
go into a lot of them.
Have you heard of CRISPR?
CRISPR.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yes.
Sorry, I'm Australian, so
Oh, cool.
yeah.
Welcome.
We learned about
We've
uh
been
different illnesses. Yeah, we learned about treatments too.
right. Well, CRISPR is not helpful to sickle cell, and we can get into that on another day. DM me. Um, but thank you for bringing it up because it goes to my point, which is that a lot of people just push sickle cell aside as the black illness that doesn't really mean a lot to anybody. But no,
Wait, I don't understand just now. You said that CRISPR doesn't help sickle cell. That's one of like the main things that they're researching for sickle cell. That's like one of the main.
finish, I would have answered your question. So the reason why I said CRISPR is not necessarily helpful to sickle cell is because they needed to prove that CRISPR had the ability to actually follow through on, its promise, which was to make gene editing not just a thing, but to make it easier, commercial, you know, and to find better treatments and possibly cures for diseases. Sickle cell was the first disease used to prove that CRISPR was worth all the money and the Peace Prize, right? They then went out and said that, oh, sickle cell now has a cure thanks to CRISPR. It's not a cure because what sickle cell is a 22,000-year-old gene mutation in which the carrier's body is made to be as inhospitable to viruses as it possibly can be. And the way that it does that is by making the red blood cells destroy themselves. So my red blood cells destroy themselves.
But I'm
And
reading right here that like they're able to like flip that switch and make the red blood cells produce
no,
normally. I
no,
mean, I know like it's expensive, but
okay. That's not how that works, though. Because in order to get sickle cell, you must have sickle cell trait.
right. I understand that. What I'm saying is that they're going into that specific gene region because we know that the region is, and am I not reading this correctly?
And again, you, I, I've tried to explain to you how it works so you can see how this does not work. So my body breaks down its own red blood cells. 20% of my red blood cells at any minute, 24/7, anywhere in my body, are imploding and releasing poison into my bloodstream and into my organs via an iron molecule called heme, right? 20%. If I have sickle cell trait, that number is decreased to 3%. So sickle cell trait is nothing but a slower, lesser version of sickle cell disease. CRISPR comes along. It says we're going to take out that gene, as you said, and then we're going to replace it with something far less interesting, right? Okay, so they do that. They put a $3 million price tag on it. Here's the deal, you don't get rid of sickle cell, you're knocked down to trait. People with sickle cell trait still suffer from the same problems people with sickle cell disease suffer from. You're still going to pass this on to your children. It's still going to be passed down your bloodline. You're still going to suffer from the issues that come along from your red blood cells destroying themselves. You're still suffering from the problems of processing poison in your organs and throughout your blood vessels. And at any time, this process can reverse itself and put you back at disease status. That, sir, is not a cure. It's an interesting treatment, maybe, but it's not a cure.
I feel like CRISPR. I learned about it when I had a research project on cystic fibrosis. I didn't really know that it had also been used for sickle cell, but yeah, it is super duper expensive. There's like 100,000 people like in the United States alone that are suffering from this, and only about like what 100 or 200 people have actually been helped in any way by CRISPR because they're probably the only ones who can afford it. But
No,
yeah,
we can count under 70 people that have even started this process because a great majority of us are what they call not cure worthy. I am not cure worthy. I didn't make up that. They made that up for me. And it's a $3 million price tag for something that could rebound. Not only that, but you're also looking at other problems like patients getting leukemia or developing lupus or some other medical condition they weren't looking for. So there's a lot of issues. But here's the great thing though. Ever since they developed sickle cell's cure, CRISPR has been used to, I think, actually create real cures for other diseases and other illnesses, and that's amazing. And
Yeah,
treat
after
and
I
that
just read it. You're right. It is not a cure. This literally for the sickle cell thing, it just got into trial at the end of 2023, and it's like a year-long process. So that means that we're really just seeing the first people coming out of these trials like right now,
Yeah,
will
Cascavia
take
is
like the last six
it,
take
months.
to the
Cas-
validation.
Cascavia requires you to take the cells out of your body, the sickle cell, and then it's a treatment for those cells, and then you put those cells back into your body. But there was 5 minute, there was a new CRISPR breakthrough for specifically sickle cell treatment to actually change the underlying like mechanics of the DNA mutation, not just treat the red
Right.
blood cells after they've been
That's
differentiated. And that did happen in July, end of
that's
July,
the one
early
based in the
August.
bone marrow, right?
Yeah, so that is something that just came out. So maybe it
Yeah.
is
So that just
promising, but you are right in
that's
that
cool.
it wouldn't impact the germline. So like the eggs and testes would still have the the mutation that would cause something like that. Then you'd have to have some type of you know that
You'd have to do
it,
CRISPR for you'd have to do CRISPR with IVF combo.
yeah, exactly. Or genetically screen the IVF before that happens. That would be the other way of doing it.
By issue, gentlemen, I don't have a problem. People say you sound so ungrateful. No, I don't have a problem with them using sickle cell as the first illness. I don't even have the problem with them making the breakthrough that they made. I have a problem with the way that they announced it to the world, knowing that it does not affect the things that the community, the patient community, was told it would. And as patients, when you tell us we have a cure, what that means for us is kids, grandkids that aren't going to have to deal with having their lives stopped and started by excruciating pain or losing two organs by the time that they're 25, your spleen and your gallbladder, putting major stress on your kidneys. in your liver.
Can I ask you a question?
And it doesn't do any of that. Yes, ma'am, you may.
Um, so is with sickle cell, is it both parents have to be carriers or only one?
Both parents have to be carriers of the trait.
So if you had a I don't know who wants kids these days, but if you had offspring with someone who like didn't have it, would the child get it?
Always have the trait. I'm a fifth generation sickle cell patient in my family. So we've been doing this since Reconstruction. So yeah, I would
Thank you
pass
for
it
answering.
to my kids. And then if they married somebody or got with somebody who had the trait, they would have a 25% chance of every single pregnancy of producing someone with the disease. Just like I have a 50% chance, right? Not chance. I'm sorry. It's 100% probability that I'm going to produce
Yeah,
some trait.
yeah, you're passing it on. It's just about if it's active or not. So the gene is passed on no matter what. It's just about if it's activated or not.
But that's the thing. Trait has three levels. Just because the U.S. doesn't recognize them, other countries do, and that's how we know trait is a much more um, dangerous illness than we have been telling people for the last 100 and something years. Which is why when you say there's a cure and you're just getting bumped down to trait status, what you curing? I'm still
No,
dealing with the
I completely agree with you that they oversold that because based on the first things that I looked up, it was completely oversold and they were just raising money. And I actually did have to go into some more nitty gritty to see, like, oh no, this is actually in trial status and all these things and whatnot. So yeah, no, I completely agree with you 100. They oversold that shit. That's
I've got one
very
more
wrong.
question before I ask my main question that I came up here to ask because I didn't want to sidetrack us. This is like kind of like you don't have to answer if you don't want to, but what do you think about of course you don't have to, that's a given. I don't know why I even said that, but like what do you feel about the efficacy of two people who knowingly have the traits choosing to reproduce? How do you feel about that?
Um, I personally think that it's irresponsible and rather selfish unless you have a very solid support team and financial stability. And I was luckily born into a family that knew what they were dealing with and parents. Yeah.
Thank you for answering. Okay, sorry guys. My main question was, this is completely a different topic, but I can't find an answer to this. It's kind of it's about, have you heard of Michael Behe
The same
and
sounds.
his irreducibly complex organisms? Have you heard of that?
Oh yeah, yeah,
Irreducibly complex organisms.
yeah.
Yeah.
This is the clockmaker's
What?
fallacy with creationism. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, I was
Is
about to
there
say that shit
anything
sounds dumb.
is there anything that is actually irreducibly complex?
No.
No, that's the dumbest. That's just two words. Those two that doesn't even make any sense. That's just
So,
someone that put two big sounding words together.
so from what I understand in biology, there are natural processes that can explain everything, and that's it.
Damn.
That's it.
Okay, damn,
Yeah,
it's just
if
made
it
up.
can't be explained in biology, we need to go smaller. We can get to chemistry. If it can't be explained with chemistry, we go smaller. We go to physics. If we can't explain it with physics, we go smaller. We just do pure math.
Yeah.
Like, irreducibly complex. What the hell, dude? They should have never gave these niggas YouTube. That's where
All
we
right, guys,
messed up.
I have to go. Thank you for
Messed up.
answering.
All right, Venus, come back anytime if you have a good question. Thank you for coming up. Yeah, good question. I'm happy that people are asking.
Bro, people get on YouTube, they say all these kinds of things. Like, oh my God, dude. Irreducibly complex. What does that even mean?
So I have an interesting take from this because I actually have spent, well, I grew up conservative evangelical Christian and have since deconstructed, as I'm sure you guys could probably tell. But I have still kept connections and even some work here and there with some of the I guess Christian apologetics community, and I see kind of firsthand, as I'm still their acquaintance, and we'll have conversations still. I see kind of from the inside track of kind of what their goal is in kind of sharing these kinds of opinions and takes that use kind of needlessly complex words like I guess what may be considered irreducibly complex is their ego, but that's that's beside the point. But it definitely is a, how would I phrase it? It to me seems like a desire to appear smarter than they are, so that their listeners, will
That's exactly
find.
what it is. That's
Yep.
exactly what it is. Because the thing about, I'm gonna tell you, I actually, so in my creation career, when I very, very, very first started, like 9 years ago, I started on the far right. I didn't like Trump, but I was still on the far right because I was going down the freaking pipeline. Like you said, I was a fundamentalist Christian too. Um, and that was one of the things that was very just not fun for me, is that there was no intellectual engagement on that side, and it was pretty much like I could present anything and they would take it as anything. And especially if I just said Trump good, it was like fact, and it was just so intellectually stagnant. And so
Yes.
that's exactly, you're hitting it right on the head, that these people who maybe they can read, I'll give some of these people that get on YouTube, maybe they can read, but their reading comprehension isn't quite there, or they're just completely misrepresenting the material that they're given. In terms
Yeah.
of the irreducible complexity, I actually have heard that before, and when I looked back to it, that's from freshman biology. I actually remember it from AP biology because that's what they tell you about that whenever you're learning about the simplest forms of evolution, and they're saying, like this was the counter argument, but we can clearly see how that's not fact because and it's debunked. It's completely debunked in any basic science class on a high school level. And I went to a conservative state. I live in a
Yeah.
conservative state. I was educated in public, conservative, read, and they taught me that. So
Yeah, it's intellectual dishonesty. But I believe since they believe that the end justifies the means, they will use all kinds of God of the gaps fallacies to prove their point and push forward a narrative. And I've caught them in so many different circular reasoning spirals that you guys are probably well familiar with all of these, that it is pretty mind-boggling to see. But when you're like we've experienced, when you're in the thick of it, there's a real camaraderie about it, and there's almost an unspoken I guess band of brothers, almost,
yeah.
like they're all in it together.
Yes, they're all in it to
Yeah.
spread the propaganda together. Yes, that
Yeah.
absolutely 100% exists. And if these people are not explicitly in a group chat, I can tell you that they have all tacitly agreed to
Yes.
peddle in this information because they see the economic incentives.
Yeah. Yeah. That's absolutely
In fact,
been my
Owl
experience.
lover. Wait, one second.
great,
We got
great.
one second. We're gonna do a quick vaccine party real quick, ladies and gentlemen. We got Owl Lover Got 2 vaccines here. Giving up to 1165, guys. Unbelievable.
Woo!
Still crazy to think
Let's
about.
go.
1165. 3, 2, 1. Owl lover. Good job. Good job, guys. Go ahead,
Cleaning up
Sam.
some dirty bodies. I was saying that intellectual dishonesty, the economic incentives.
Mm.
It's just like so. I think you're MT. You're so right on the intellectual dishonesty thing, where it's like they're willfully ignorant. It's like there's so much evidence out there. There's so much data that we could point to, but they're just like la 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 la. That doesn't exist. It doesn't exist, and
Well,
like
that's for
it's
regular
wild.
MAGA. For the class of influencers and for the politicians and all this thing, it's not will for ignorance, Um,
Oh, that's grifting.
I
That's for
can't
sure.
I can't say which state. I'm not gonna say which state I live in, but my senator sounds like a fucking dummy, and he went to Oxford. So,
Yeah,
you know,
that's the
it
grift.
don't make
That's
no
the
sense.
grift. Yeah, that's
It's
the
the grift.
yeah.
Yeah.
And it's like grift off of like when I okay, grew up fundamentalist Christian. I was a conservative. 2015 primary. I liked Marco Rubio. I'm not gonna lie, I kind of like Jeb Bush because he was speaking 2 languages. I thought that shit was hot. I thought that's what we
You-
needed.
Yeah.
Um, I didn't want Bush v. Clinton, but they had actual debates about conservative politics and where the party was going, and it was intellectually stimulating.
Yeah.
That does not exist anymore on the right side in any capacity. And just the
Man,
fact that they did not engage me in that way, they allowed me to become a communist.
There you go. There you
man,
go.
you are telling my story right there. That's exactly that was about the time that I started really heavily deconstructing is, seeing fundamentalist Christianity wholeheartedly embrace and then
All
become
beyond,
MAGA.
yeah, to see some of the same churches that I went to that taught me to be like Jesus and
Yes.
whatnot, all of a sudden, freaking, we got Donnie Johnny up there. Like, what the hell are we
Dude, for
doing? I'm
real.
filling a water bottle, by the way.
Yeah, man.
Filling a water
Yeah, man.
Yeah, it's wild that
Yep.
it is. It's so like the disingenuous. Like how many like I'm just a Christian, guys, and now I support Trump now. You're like, and in what way is this guy even remotely Christian? Right? Is he even even remotely anything with that? We had a guy yesterday on that was saying that same thing. Like, oh, I'm just the Christian values. He upholds that. I'm like, for who? For like what Christian what Bible are you talking about? Like the Trump Bible? Is
It
is there an abridged version that I wasn't aware of? Like what's going on?
looks like a lot of people started deconstructing in 2015, 2016.
Well, a lot of people got
Yes.
started like paying
Yes.
attention in politics that during those times.
Yeah, I
Because
was reminiscing with one of my friends. My best friend. He lived with me at the time at Trump and whatnot, and so like he was coming home from college. We were both in college and whatnot. I got Fox Business on. We literally used to watch Fox Business in the morning, swap
base.
it out at noon, and watch Fox News. We would watch Fox News 15, 16 hours a day. Shit was always on the TV. That's
yeah.
what we would watch for news, and they
Hell yeah.
only had a couple of hours of crazy sprinkled in.
Like no
This was before
cartoons?
I was 18, 19. I was
You
going
should have been
through some
watching
shit too.
cartoons.
I was
Hi
definitely going
Ness.
through some shit.
Hope your class was
Um,
good, Ness.
But
Dude,
we
yeah.
were just reminiscing about that, and he was like, it's so crazy now because he's extremely politically engaged, and he's watching Santana and Dean and Parker and all this
Hey,
stuff and whatnot. And he's
let's
like,
go.
yo, I can literally remember sitting on your couch watching Fox fucking News, like, what happened,
Yeah. I think the people who actually took the lessons to heart actually understood what it means to not just have empathy or not just feel empathy, but to have compassion. Because of course you can feel for someone, but then not act on it.
Yeah.
That's a topic for another day. But there is such a disconnect, I think, from the people who really absorbed those things. And I think, especially if you were a child when you took in and were, unfortunately like me, it sounds like, you NT and probably a lot in chat as well, indoctrinated into this belief. But then you keep I think the best way to be healed coming from it is to the keep the message that what they indoctrinated us into, keep that front and center and hold that true, but all of the ways that they have put in practice, throw that right out.
That's exactly it. And I'm not gonna
Yeah.
lie, even when I just put out my Antifa Code of Ethics, I fucking plagiarized Jesus Christ, like straight up.
Yeah,
I ain't
Oh
man.
come up
yeah,
with
dude.
none of it
But
on
that's
my own.
bro. That's why I call myself a Christian atheist. Like yeah, for real. I
Yeah.
mean, it's like I think it's a good way of framing like our ethics and showing like especially the anti-rich stuff, dude. The anti-gluttony stuff, dude. That is
Correct.
all Christian, like all Jesus Christ of Nazareth stuff, dude. That's what he was all about, more so than
Correct.
anything else.
The
Like for real.
original anchor baby, the original illegal freaking immigrant, the original
Everyone.
OG comp.
Exactly.
I mean,
That's right.
So
It
true.
is. It is truly. Yeah. It is truly incredible to see how they have fully walked away, and I've tried to, of course, apply my compassion training on them as well, as difficult as that's been, and as painful in a lot of ways, because of course I've like I'm sure you guys have still friends and family that are deep in it, and so I try to think you know deeper than what they are showing, and kind of perceive them in a deeper way, and I think a big thing of it, I'm not saying anything new here that we haven't all heard before, but a lot of it is fear, and then seeing a shifting society that they no longer recognize, and that makes them feel out of control. And of course then they turn to sources that can make them feel like they are still relevant, and that they can still continue to do and be the kind of people that that they've been, remain in their rigidity, and they're looking for permission to do so. And so in a structure that has not just upheld that rigidity, but celebrated it as traditional values, that gives a perfect, tying it all back in to the actual, or the at least we can call them the more intellectual of that group. They are able to, whether they're disingenuous in it from a grifting standpoint for money, or whether it's they truly believe whole hog in this, and they are doing it as the means justifying the end. They are
I can
truly,
tell you,
yeah.
anyone online that's doing this and saying those things, and even people, for some people on the left too,
Yeah.
it's three things. They're doing it for three reasons: money, attention, and dopamine.
Yeah.
And anyone that says anything otherwise is lying to you. And, depending on why they're doing those things or what they're saying, while they're getting those things, I think that really determines the character of people. But every single person on here, I mean, even you right now, is on here for money, dopamine, and it's you pick two. It's 2 out of 3.
Yeah.
No matter what, you're getting 2 out of 3.
Yeah. Yeah. I
True.
think there is an intellectual curiosity. Like I certainly agree with you there, but I think there is, and I'm trying to read, to read them, probably more charitably than they would ever read us. But
I'm done, Renee. I'm done.
Well,
I'm
whatever.
just here for the power. Yeah, low key me too. That circles us
That's
back to that
hilarious.
freaking dude in the who was it? It was a couple days. That was your chat, Dr. Greg, with
Yeah.
the freaking emperor we had, the wannabe emperor.
Oh yeah. Oh dang, no face. Thank you,
Ooh.
man. Thank you.
Thanks,
I
no fish
appreciate
Thanks,
you.
Rick.
The freaking dude that wanted to be Napoleon, and he wanted to have 10,000 people just listen and do whatever
That
he
was
says.
wild,
And
dude. That was like some delusion of grandeur stuff that I was like blown away with. Man, that was.
I'm not gonna lie to you, in my depths of mania, I definitely have delusions of grandeur, but like
For sure.
at the same time, like if you can't tap into something and make that reality, like you're not, what are you even doing saying that? Like,
I know,
Yeah.
dude. I mean, it's always the undergrads that are red pills that can't even get a partner. You know what I mean? They can't even go on a date
Yeah.
successfully, and you're like 10,000
People
people
are gonna
will
do whatever I say.
Yeah, exactly. It's like, bro, you're
The
just
next
it's
words
so
out of your
cringe.
mouth better be yes, sir.
And it's always men. Let's be real. They're always delusional. Like it's just insane.
Yeah,
Like,
absolutely.
I've never heard like this just I don't know. It's so embarrassing. So embarrassing.
Say it with me.
Yeah.
Overcompensation.
Yeah, exactly.
That shit was so cringe. That had to have been one of the most embarrassing moments that I've like sat through as another adult, like saying something in front of especially hundreds of people at the time.
Yeah,
That by
dude.
far was like one of the most embarrassing experiences for me.
For real. Susie, what are your thoughts? What are you thinking about? Any ideas? Anything?
I'm
I
just
gotta wrap.
loving this so much. I'm sorry that I've been gone for so long.
Oh, good.
I just like got reminded that that's why I like stay away from politics and news, and I stick to music because happy place.
True. What have you been listening to recently?
I just listen to Tupac on repeat. It's fine.
Nice.
That and my techno music and whatever.
Dude, my go-to is Jay-Z Reasonable Doubt. I freaking love that album, man. It's so good. Helen, dude, you are incredible. 52. Let's go, Helen. You are a legend. Guys, I think can we get
I
to
wasn't
1,000?
joking about my Tupac though.
Yeah, I'm not joking about Reasonable Doubt either. I love it, man. I love it. It's so good. 52.
So,
One second, let's just
Nathan,
celebrate. A 980.
Do a celebration.
980 for Helen, guys. 980 political actions, guys. We have 20 to go. 20 to go in order to be 1,000 emails or phone calls. It's incredible.
The 8 million like people collectively, the followers we have, I call them sick life radicals, but I need to like encourage every creator to like call them their own thing. You know what I mean? Like whatever your branding is, like that's what you need to call them. Like this is how many people we have, so I don't know, you were just science like atoms or whatever your little I forgot what the shit in your Discord's called or whatever. But people call their people different things.
I call mine neuropsychs.
That just made me realize that. Yeah, so like if you were in our network, you'd be like, we have 8 million neuropsychs, because like essentially
It's scarier than it sounds.
Because I mean that's what we're doing. Like all of these people that follow some of these other creators, they didn't implicitly agree to be hijacked for our purposes, but that's what when you push follow on somebody, you never know what you're agreeing to. You don't know what that person is doing with their platform.
Yeah, for sure. Susie, what are you thinking?
I don't know, MT. I think
One second.
it's all
Susie, what are you thinking? Are you thinking anything for?
No. I just I think that there's like a lot that was shared that's very important. Not only by Nathan, by Five, and I hate to hear that, especially like the misinformation. And I'm glad that MTC, I don't know what else the name says. I'm glad. Okay. I'm glad that you went and you were able to do like a quick deep dive and didn't get lost in a rabbit hole and found information that kind of validated what she was sharing. Her like sickle cells, let me ask, has anybody ever heard of small fiber sensory neuropathy with familial dysautonomia and erythromelalgia?
Not just with you.
Okay. So, but it's
fibrosis?
No, it's not at all.
Oh, nice.
It's
Renee has.
Really? Dang. Okay. So
Nice.
it is a
There you
very rare genetic disease. Very rare. Like so rare that there's not very many people ever diagnosed with it, and not many people ever know about it. Even oh my god, we're special. And it's to the point that like a lot of doctors don't know what it is. Where I have to travel to like Duke Neuroscience Research Brain Center, and I'm like a research patient, and like I got a research study done. Anyway,
Wow,
that's just exciting.
and
anyway,
it doesn't fit in your username for 5 minute lessons on that too.
Right?
That's like
Yeah, that
that's tough.
Yeah,
That's very
yeah.
tough.
It just is, but like there's a cutoff. It's
Yeah,
fine.
yeah.
Not
Character
even an
limited.
acronym would suffice. Uh, but like sickle cell's more well known because
Mhm.
we've all heard it, but nobody knows what it is or understands it.
Yep. Susie, you're gonna call or something. There you go. Can you hear her? I can't hear her. I can't, Susie. I can't hear you.
I can't hear anything.
1 second. Try again. There you go.
Oh, okay.
There we go. We're back.
So
Go ahead.
I was not diagnosed till after I had my daughter. I was 33, and I lived with this gene that was just dormant my whole life, and it took childbirth to activate the gene. And it I just kept getting told that I wanted medication for this and that, and I didn't. Like I don't do good with pain medication. But like the fact that like I lost the ability to write, to use my hands. I had to relearn how to write after 9 months of not knowing what it was, and it took a skin punch biopsy and everything getting sent to New York and 4 different other major universities to be able to determine what this weird situation was. Um, like a guinea pig, and it's terrifying because I'm gonna tell you straight up right now. If I knew I had this and I carried this, because mother and father have to both carry the gene, okay? And it gets passed to you, and it can be dormant and just chill. But I didn't know that this was a thing. If I had known, I never would have had kids, because now my kids have a like 75% probability of carrying, like they have it, like at this point, like it's carried. And like what is it gonna take for that gene to activate? That's freaking terrifying because I know what it's done to me. It's messed up my digestive system. It's messed up my autonomic, sympathetic, parasympathetic nervous systems. Now I'm like immunocompromised. Can't regulate my heartbeat, my body temperature, but my ability to process food when I eat it. I can't feel things on my arms and in my hands. Like it has ruined everything in my life that never was a problem before. And now like I know that I am solely entirely responsible for that being passed into my children. So if I could go back, I was on contraception, so it still happened twice each time. Oh anyway, but they're here, I love them, but I would never ever would have made the choice. So it's not fibromyalgia. It's not fibro. It's not. It's not the same thing. And I'm sorry that you have that because I know it's uncomfortable and painful. But and I just saw the comment really quick to touch that. But I would not risk passing that to my children, knowing that it could just take some trauma to the body to activate it and ruin their life. Because it took months. It interfered with my undergrad studies. It interfered with my graduate school studies so significantly. But like I've had to explain to my kids what it is, and now I'm fearful of everything. When they're like, "Oh, this hurts," I'm like, "Oh my god," because I'm worried. Like, is this activating in them sooner than it do for me? Because like it will, or it can. So it's listening to 5 minutes talk about sickle cell. It is like horrible because like they used, I feel,
You know, I
something
think,
that she's going through to piggyback on the research of other things and justify the cure finding. Versus like ridiculous. You could just say that something led to a finding of this thing, and instead of like making people feel optimistic and hopeful with false pretenses.
well,
Like,
if I can really quickly, two things. Number one, while it was wrong for them to sell it at the time, if I understand the science correctly, like it's going to be available. It's just going to be a money thing. Like we're really on the cusp of, and I know this sounds crazy, but like when I was graduating college, which was so long ago now, just in, CRISPR was just coming out. And like realistically, if we live long enough right now in our human bodies, if we live long enough in these bodies, we might not have to die. Like the people that, and I know that sounds so crazy, and but like our lifespans are highly likely to be stretched like way past human imagination right now because of the technology that we're unlocking.
Dude, I'm waiting for them
And
to say I can have bionic arms. I'm so down.
I would be
Yeah.
pop too. Um, but like I said, it is screwed up. But realistically, from just what I saw, they had really significant results just this summer that just passed, like Dr. Greg said, and the technology literally just came out and just got into human patients a couple years ago, and we're already seeing like pretty significant results. And it sounds like what you have something like so they're going to aim for um things that are not only rare but like I don't want to say simple because but what from what it sounds like yours is something like they know exactly what it is. It's this gene, it does this, and like that's the things that they can use CRISPR to fix. It's the ones that are more complex that affects all kinds of downstream systems and things like that that they're not there yet. Um but I'm not trying to make you hopeful by any capacity, but like
Oh yeah,
science is moving
I'm at least
extremely fast
I'm at
and
least
just
a scientist that I can keep up with the things I'm told. And so I was really excited because I get to go to like a neuroscience specialty hospital and a patient, and I understand what they're talking about. So it's like a nerd thing. But I'm also a patient, so there's that.
right. So yeah,
But like
being the
so,
person dealing with the thing, it's always, that's going to always change the perspective on it. For certain on that. I don't want to in any way, take away from your
oh,
lived experience,
you're good.
because that's
You're
yeah,
not.
that's not what I'm
Nobody
trying to
can.
do.
It's fine. I don't feel like that at all.
Okay.
I don't like. I just like. I don't ever talk about it just because it's not what I try to build community interaction or relationships on at all because it's not something that defines me. But it's something
You
that
know,
every now and again needs to be discussed just because like nobody knows what it is. No one's heard of it.
yeah,
So
and you saying exactly that. So the fact that you said that you don't necessarily bring it up, it's not something that defines you, but it's something that's so niche that not a lot of people are going to even be aware of, but it's something that many people could be living with. At this point, I kind of do want to advocate to you. You don't have to center that in every aspect of your life or anything you talk about or whatever, or how much you spend time online or any of those things. But I mean, that's a very authentic component and a very interesting component of someone's life, especially because you're dealing with this in real time all the time. And many people could be as well. And they have no avenues, no outlets, no information. I mean, like you said, it was after childbirth that this happened, and then you just became aware of it. So just imagine other people that could potentially be scared and whatnot. And I don't want to
all
push you
right,
to
you
do anything,
guilted
but
me into it. Fine.
you know, you got
No,
all
you're
comrades who
absolutely
can.
right.
If you
You're
can, you
right.
got to right now. You got to contribute because this is the thing. And I know it doesn't sound like it, but by you doing that and you putting that good information out there, you're actually fighting back against right wing lunatics and all of that misinformation because you're putting good, real, authentic, lived experience out there to help combat, just the flood of crap.
You're not
Anything we can
wrong.
do to capture people,
You're
anything and
not wrong.
everything.
I mean, I appreciate you saying that. I do. And I think I don't know how to receive that information, even though I'm trying to be like good with it, right? I am. It's trying real hard. It's just, it's not something I hear because like it's one of those like invisible illnesses. Like no one can see what's going on here. However, when I get hot, everybody can see like my chest get red, my ears get red. It's a very real thing. Even when I get angry, like I have an angry ear. It's this one. When I
Right.
get like overstimulated, like my body cannot regulate itself to the point that my like I have a physiological response is visible to people. And they're like, "What's
You
wrong with
know,
you?" I'm like, "Well, I tried to explain to you. Like, if it's over 72 degrees, I'm gonna like shut down."
conceptually, I don't even like the thought of an invisible illness or something like that because there are so many things that so many people are dealing with that you're not going to be able to see in any way, like just because you don't have a runny nose or whatever. Um, and I think maybe that's part of it too, is our society really does look for that feedback or that like visual cue. And maybe part of it goes to the way that we've designed everything to be around like profits and efficiency and like you have to have a return on investment and whatnot. But I just think that you can offer a lot of insight to people, and I don't want to in any way discourage you or make you feel like it others you or anything. Because I mean, shit, you came up here and you started talking about it. You literally just taught me something in the moment that you said, no, that's not this. This is what it is. It's different. And it even triggered something because I remember from biology learning that certain things can happen when women have pregnancies, and it activates because of the stress, because it's such an enormous amount of stress on the body. It'll activate
I
certain
wish I had a ding 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 to play because like that's
yeah,
like the mic drop right there.
yeah,
It's
that's
like when they
exactly it.
talk about the changes that happen and they think
Yeah,
it's not real, like my whole ass life changed. Not because I became a
yeah,
mom, because my body's like, we're done. Your parasites took
right.
everything from us. So yeah,
it's not
no.
it's
Like
not the
it
same body after,
my
I
body's
want to
like
say it
my
might have been
drop, goodbye.
molecular. I want to say it might have been
Yeah.
molecular because they were
Like
talking about that, and because it's something to do with just the enormous amount of stress and the way that the genes will like activate and something. And it's
I
not
want to
only that
slow
disease.
clap for you.
There's like a whole bunch of different diseases and whatnot, or
Yes.
different types of um genetic, I don't want to say issues, but just genetic things that can come up from that enormous amount of stress. And that's
No,
something
you're
that we, they didn't even know existed. So think
mm-hmm.
about all those women that were getting locked up in crazy camps or whatever because
It
they
sounds
after
nice
they
right
had
now.
kids. you know
I'm so excited that you know that, and I'm so happy that you brought that up because I think people hear that. I don't think people believe it. And you know what? It's kind of silly that I know I didn't put two and two together and realize that myself. Now I knew like, oh, you're gonna change, you're gonna be mom, blah, blah, blah. But like I don't apply certain things that I learn and can apply with other people to myself. Cause like I try not to like, oh me. But I'm so happy that you know that because at least now, not only have you learned about this thing that I have an issue with, and that with you might be able to like do more with it than I can in a different way.
Well, I
Awesome,
mean,
guys.
any way that I can, help you, especially, because I just encouraged you to to embark
Yeah,
on
you're in
something
charge
creative and
now.
whatnot. But any way that I can help you to amplify your voice or anything, like just
Thank
make it
you.
easy for you. I mean, that's essentially what I'm trying to do. Is people have very interesting takes. They have interesting things that they can contribute, and they don't necessarily have like the time to do it all.
No,
Um, you know, and I mean, it's not something I can do for you either.
right.
So it's something that, you do have to put a little bit of time and effort into. But, once you start developing that, like, I have no problem to help you or do whatever I can with my capacity to try to make sure that you can, be on the right path for getting
Thank
that information
you.
out there.
That's very, very, very generous and kind. I think you're the first person that's ever done that, and I really do appreciate that. You're the first
Nice.
person I've heard say that.
He's the best. That's why he's the CEO of Antifa. He's our CEO. He's our CEO. He's serious. I'm serious. He's the CEO of Antifa.
People CEO.
Exactly. That's why he's good. He's got a PR. He's been all getting coached up, getting all going to those retreats. And, getting
I need to come up with a finisher. Like the people's elbow. I need to come up with a finisher. I got to come up with so many, because there's so many parodies.
yeah,
There's so much everything that you can do with just being the CEO of something.
yeah.
Just like complaining about my pay all the time, like that. God, that's so hilarious. And then I'm raving at night complaining about my pay. Oh my God, dude. It's
Yeah,
fucking
dude.
chef's kiss.
It's amazing. It's true. That's true. Thank you, Linda. Thank you. All right, guys. Well, I need to go to jujitsu tomorrow morning, so I'm gonna be heading off.
Wait, I
Yo.
have a couple quick questions.
Yeah. Please.
All right, first, how many kids you got?
4.
What's the spread on that? What's the oldest? What's the youngest?
8 and 3, and they're 18 months apart.
Wait a minute. 8 and 3.
Yeah, the spread is 8 to 3 years old, 8 years old to 3 years old, and they're all 18 months apart.
Oh, wow, Dr. Greg, that's not the way to do
Like
it.
exactly.
I mean, it is the way to
Exactly
do
18
it.
months?
Yep. I mean,
It
we
is the way to
didn't
do it,
mean
but
to,
it's
we didn't mean
not.
to, but it was just kind of like naturally, kind of like what happened to happen.
That sounds like
Are your
design.
kids born in January?
No.
February.
Okay, because I was about
No.
to say Cinco de Mayo did the same shit for me too, bro. 420 to Cinco de Mayo, because my two kids are almost 2 years apart. They're 360 days apart. Their birthdays are
Nice.
5 days away. And then so it's my wife, then 5 days later it's my youngest son, then 5 days later it's my oldest son.
Nice. Yeah, we have the 13th of like April, March. It's crazy. So, but yeah,
Yeah, that's
two out of the
wild.
three, and then one of them is the 14th. So yeah, it's pretty funny.
Damn,
But
so you said your youngest is 3?
yeah, hmm
Bro, that's crazy.
yeah, it's fun. It's really fun.
What does your wife do?
She's a nurse.
Oh, okay, that makes a lot of sense then.
Yeah.
She works 12-hour rotating shifts or
Yeah. Yep. Yeah, 3 days a week, and
okay.
that's kind of like what. Yeah, I'm work. I mean, I used to work Monday through Friday, and then she would work the 3 days, like Friday, Saturday, Sunday night kind of thing, and then we would have that
Yeah.
Friday would be the day that with we needed childcare, but yeah, now we're kind
But
of
you're like
screwed.
set parent. You're like default parent now.
Yeah, it's really weird. I'm trying to get a work from home job from a law firm so I could do like a due diligence and or technology specialist work. So I'm
Yeah, that'd be
trying.
really good.
Yeah.
No, that's cool, man. Well, just take that shit. Um, I mean, hey, as a fucking dude doing 12-hour shifts, I wish I could fucking send my wife to do 12-hour shifts. I'd be at home. I'd have breakfast ready for her when she got home from that 5-hour shift, boy. I'd have fucking the kids ready.
Yeah,
I'd be on TikTok live.
that's yeah. Hi. Yeah, it's been
Uh,
yeah, it's fun. It's fun. It's good like the kids see her, a lot and but then I also had like, dadder weekends where I'm just kind of like, taking care of
yeah,
them, and then she's sleeping during the
yeah.
day, and then
That's the one thing I miss about working 8 to 5 Monday through Friday is every Saturday I was with my kids. And it was Dadder Day,
yeah.
and we always did cool shit and went to the park and whatnot.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, stuff out here on these fucking
So
rotating shifts, bro.
uh I would be yeah, I mean I think that it's product I don't know what you're referring to, Renee. I'm sorry. Um yeah, it's fun. I mean, I like it. I like being home. I mean, my wife was like, she would love to be a stay-at-home mom too. Like it's but she also is really good at her job and really loves working too. So it's I don't like
You
this.
know,
I am going crazy, and I want to go have a lap or something. But I don't know. I think like because of our life and just the kids, it's just easier. Guys, I just I gotta go. I mean, but we can talk.
yeah, you go, bro.
It's
You're good.
okay,
It's
Renee.
fine. Good night, bro.
Go ahead. It's okay, Renee. Come on. How's it going?
Yeah, Renee, look,
What's up?
I didn't. I do my home chores. I'm just saying, like, if my
Okay,
wife was working
okay.
these 12ers
Uh-huh.
and she was about to get home at 5 a.m., that eggs and bacon would be cooked. I'd have
Yeah.
the
You
eggs
say
and
that
bacon ready.
now because you didn't
Uh-huh.
have to live it.
That's
Uh-huh.
all I'm
Yeah.
See how
saying.
Dr. Greg is trying desperately to get out of being the default parent at home?
I mean,
It's not fun. Nobody
it's
wants to stay
It's
home and take
not.
care of kids all
You
day.
try. My ex-husband would be like, oh, he'd have the summer. I would work hard during the summer doing my like weddings and stuff, and he would have them, but he had an end in sight. I
Yeah,
did not.
yeah.
You
yeah.
eventually, no productivity. Eventually, those eggs and bacon in the fridge never gets made.
That ass
Forget
frozen,
about
huh?
it. That's it. That's all I gotta
She's
say.
not
That's frozen.
lying.
Good night,
Nice
family.
fantasizing.
Yeah, I know. A man can fantasize on these 12-hour shifts, huh?
You're like, you have it so easy. You get to stay at home with the 4 kids.
Dude. All right. Well, I
You
only got
you
two.
just get
It's
to
like
I'm
a
play
not
with the
saying.
nightmare.
kids. You get
Yeah.
to play with them, have fun. Like, why
Nobody
isn't the
wants to
house
do that all
clean?
day.
You've been here. You've been here all day.
Good night, Dr. Greg. Good
He's
night,
a runner.
family.
He's
Good
a
night,
runner.
family.
Bye.
it's
Feel the heat, huh?
it's tough. I think like
Hey, thanks again.
matters. Yeah.
Good night.
Thanks, Nathan. Have a good one, guys.
Thanks again, Dr. Greg.
Of course, man. Of course. Yeah, I mean,
See,
it's tough.
now Nathan knows. Now
I,
Nathan knows what I do on the live panels.
I would definitely
I sussed it
always,
out.
like even work from home stuff. I mean, I have been trying. So I do consulting work on top of this, like trying to like, side gig stuff. And it's just hard to get like time any time you to yourself when you're working from home, like, actual dedicated time that's like that you can actually get work done. And even when the kids,
Uninterrupted.
yeah, exactly. It's really only
Impossible.
the time that they're at school, and then they're not actually at school for that long because there's just like Wednesday is a half day, and then like you drop them off at and pick them up at we do the bus. We can't drive them, but it just gives us another hour of time that
Yep.
we can like
Yes.
actually use.
Yes.
So
Yes.
it's like
Always do the bus.
so it's just like it's crazy. It's just not really fair.
It
We
is.
want to try to do the after school programs when they
Yep.
when they're old enough. But again, that kind of hurts us from doing like dance or soccer or anything like that, which is its own
Yeah, and then there
thing.
was
So many
food
weekends.
and stuff. That's crazy.
Yeah, it's hard out here, bro. Because you work all day, you only got a few hours with your kids. It's about trying to figure out how to fortify that time, how to be impactful. But
Yeah.
good night, bro. I appreciate
right, man.
everybody.
All
Appreciate
right.
your family.
Yeah, I'm gonna go too,
Bye.
guys.
You
So
could at me in the Discord, Renee. We could
Okay.
beef it out.
We're what?
We could beef it out.
Okay. Not in
There it
public.
Great
is.
meeting you,
This
MT.
is surprising.
No. Whole group could see. Cook
Oh,
me out.
okay.
Put me in my place. Feminism definitely wins this one. I was being a dumb man for sure. I'm not even gonna lie.
I was like, not with the fantasizing
Nope.
about staying at home
Yep.
with children.
Bro.
Wow.
Had to pause me. Good night, Doc.
Barefoot
All right.
and cooking breakfast. Right.
Yeah, it's
Um,
tough.
No.
He
Okay,
didn't even
thanks.
consider the coffee that we didn't get. Okay.
There you go.
God.
Exactly.
The
those
mimosa waiting
eggs
at the
were
door.
dry. Those eggs were dry. as
Not even
fuck.
fluffy. What happens to the
No.
bacon?
Exactly.
The
That's
milk
true.
was spoiled, so he couldn't add a little milk to it.
Right? Oh my
Gross.
god. Yes.
True.
Got at least a splash. Oh my gosh. We're out of toilet paper. Oh, it's
All
crazy.
right, guys. I
Yeah.
gotta go.
Okay, bye.
Thank you, guys. Thank you.
Thanks for having
Nathan,
me on.
if you feel
Bye.
like you need to, you can reach out in a message or whatever. I can help if I
Oh.
can.
Sounds
Sure,
good.
I will
Great.
help
I
if
would
I
love
can.
to continue the connection.
Sweet. Yeah, dude,
Yeah,
for
just
sure.
send me a message.
Excellent.
Okay. Peace, guys. All right. Thanks for coming up, guys. I appreciate you. Thank you so much. Gotta head out. Hard stop at 1. But thank you guys so much for. I'm gonna do the shout outs real quick. Thank you, Mackenzie. You're awesome. Thank you so much. All right, guys. Thank you so much to all the gifters. Thank you. I don't know why this doesn't have no joke, no face. Thank you so much for the galaxy. Thank you, Kathleen, Susie, Jessica, and Be Human. Thank you, Mackenzie, top tapper. Thank you so much for all the likes. Bare Necessity, and Be Human. Thank you so much. Thank you to all the Patreons and the super fans. Thank you guys so much. Super fans are like $10 a month, but Patreons have like $3 a month, $5 a month, $7 a month, all the way up. A bunch of options. So that's why we like the Patreon, and we actually get to keep like I get a higher cut. I'll be honest with you. Patreon gets me like 85%. Superfan, I only get like 50%. So that's why it's pretty amazing. nice, Mackenzie. Thank you, Brian F. Helen, Mrs. Dr. G, Russell Bowden, Ado, Call Me an S, Rapture, and Be Human, Meg, and Dave for the Patreons. I appreciate you. So, same time tomorrow, guys. We're going to do a standard show. We're going to learn about stuff. We're going to figure things out. I want to, I want to learn. I want to learn tomorrow. We'll have to see. Nice, Mackenzie. All right, guys, we are out of here. I hope you had a good day. I had some adult beverages at picking up a tree lot, so it was chill to come back and just kind of hang out. I appreciate you. I appreciate you doing that, hanging out with me. A little post adult beverage time. Hope you guys have a good night. Thank you, guys. See you tomorrow. Peace. See ya. Bye. A segment. Okay. That sounds good. Peace. Bye, everyone. YouTube. Let's go. Love you guys.